Today we're going over the A Hero Rises 2025 top 8 lineup. This will be my Cliff Notes version of the participants if you need a refresher. Now, I'm a little sad about the lineup this year. If there's no Nidhoggr causing controversy, is it really A Hero Rises? Nidhoggr ults aside, the emblems are here, and we have a couple attuned options for juicy fodder opportunities. We also went from 1 snake to 2. Too many if you ask me. As usual, the top 8 participants are going to be in a Voting Gauntlet at the end of February. This is a couple weeks from now. The winner of the Voting Gauntlet will be given to all players for free. You may want to consider that whoever you support may also be a lot more present on the enemy team. In past years, the first round of the Voting Gauntlet mattered quite a bit, not so much this time. Instead of the top 4 getting into a banner, all 8 participants will be smashed into one 8-man banner. It will have a 6% focus rate with 4 sparks for all players. Basically, all the Voting Gauntlet determines is who is given out for free. Let's now go over the top 8 winners. This banner will probably be in the later part of March, so you have some time to save up. Everyone here is worth a summon. The number 8 spot goes to Mythic Nidhoggr. You should know what she does if you play any PvP modes, because Nidhoggr is the current premier armor tank, and it does not look like she's going anywhere for the Year of the Snake. This version is a red armored beast. Nidhoggr has the Fortune effect, which makes it easier to transform, and that gives her distinct counter. She provides attack, defense, and sabotage debuff support in a wide area, and her dosage status grants 5 stats, 10 HP healing after combat, and it counters the status stealing effects such as Nurko's Essence Drain. For combat, Nidhoggr deals instant damage based on 25% of the foe's max HP. The more damage the foe takes, the more flat damage reduction Nidhoggr has. Instant healing can curb some of her tankiness. For other effects, she has a ton of cooldown perks to proc her special on counterattacks while having 50% DR piercing with true damage also based on the foe's max HP. For fodder, Nidhoggr has Sturdy Beast, which is a bonfire type special with 40% unpierceable damage reduction. This can be reactivated with the Twin Save C skills, which also grant 7 HP healing on hit. Slick Fighter 4 is the free fall of armor skill with debuff neutralization and flat DR based on 20% defense. A little class specific, but these are all very strong skills. Overall, extremely strong tank currently. If you can't take off the Snake Lady, 2025 is going to be a pretty rough year. 7th place is for legendary Ayra, supremely fast sword master who provides attack, speed, lull, and so far, the unique potent follow-up status support. Potent may not deal full damage for everyone, but it can be extremely nice to finish off, say, a 1 HP Miracle Abuser. Now for her own comment, Ayra has Slang, 7 HP sustain, true damage, and flat DR based on advantageous statuses. Get 5 statuses for 25 true damage and 15 flat DR that can double against specials. Speaking of, Ayra has her unique Crusader's Astra special, which grants DR piercing and recharges before her first attack and on follow-up attacks. This includes potent follow-ups, so Ayra can proc the special 3 times back to back to back. On follow-up hits, it disables defensive specials, and Ayra has 40% unpierceable DR herself for 1 hit. For fodder, Ayra has Attack and Speed Excel, which provides flat DR based on movement, extremely popular A skill for a while now. Speed Taker is Emblem Lyn's B skill that grants great talent speed, true damage based on speed, it neutralizes speed debuffs, and it gives no guard. Not a must-have for every build, but very fitting for certain units who need these effects. Last, Ayra has Brutal Tempest. This grants +1 movement and comes with Conto Distance +1, which is an insane Conto effect. Excel plus Tempest is a fun little player phase setup. In 6th, we have Attuned Timerra. She's a high speed and defense lance fighter who provides the basis for the general infantry tank playstyle that's been around for the past year. To stand out herself, Timerra offers +4 speed and defense with 10 flat DR against specials in a wide support range. She has distinct counter, slang, lull, and her own 10 flat DR. Her unique Sandstorm special uses 150% of her defense stat instead of her attack stat for damage calculations. Timerra does not care about her attack, and she can deal massive burst with this special. It also has up to 40% unpierceable DR that can work on all hits, and Timerra has Frozen's speed roll advantages if you have higher defense. For fodder, Timerra is the owner of Times Pulse Echo, which is just Times Pulse 4, extremely versatile cooldown skill for many infantry units, and it goes hand in hand with Lagu's friend. This has been the go-to Omni-Tank skill for infantry builds. It provides instant cooldown before getting hit, which can trigger % special effects, such as Emblem's Ring or Sandstorm, or just a defensive special. The user will get DR piercing specials and extra true damage with flat DR. It's a vital skill for a Sandstorm spam. To complement the tank playstyle, Breath of Life 4 offers instant healing and can be shared with nearby allies. With higher defense than the enemy, you heal more, and it counters deep wounds by 50%. Last skill Timerra has is Speed and Defense Finish 4. Finish skills are still excellent infantry stat boosters with true damage and healing when specials are ready. The 5th place winner is Attuned Hector. He's another strong armored tank and has a sword this time. Hector's unique support includes the bulk status, which can block movement, and he lays down Divine Vein Stone wherever he moves. Hector also provides defense, res, and no panic buffs. His weapon has Sling, Guard, True Damage, and Flat DR based on total field buffs. This is just Treachery. For his A skill, Hector gets minus to instant cooldown, just like the Goose friend, and he has 50% DR piercing on each hit. There is also a ton of debuffs inflicted on the enemy. For fodder, Hector has Distant Counter Echo. Nothing else really needs to be said. As an attuned hero, you will not lose Hector when you skill inherit from him, which makes him very valuable. His other skills mirror Nidhoggrs. Armored Beacon is the ranged matchup bonfire with 40% unpierceable DR. Wily Fighter 4 is the free follow-up armor skill with flat DR that neutralizes the foe's field boss. Hector then has the same attack and defense twin far save C skill to re-trigger Armored Beacon, plus he heals back up. Moving into the top 4, our only duo hero is duo Ninja Lucina and Chrom. They are an offensive colors vocab with some very powerful support. Future Focus is a swap plus extra action for Lucina. It provides no follow-up, -1 cooldown, and Future Focus in a 2-space AoE for multiple allies. AoE cooldown without fighting is very powerful. Now Future Focus is an incredible status that gives Kanto 2, +5 stats, 7 flat DR, and then player phase scowl. For even more mobility, Lucina has the standard Ninja Gale Force dual skill, extra action after fighting, and it re-enables Kanto this time. For her own combat, Lucina has a Sling, dual phase Brave Bow with no guard, 50% DR piercing, and can get up to 25 true damage with 5 advantageous statuses. She can get -1 cooldown after her first special triggers in combat. For fodder, Lucina has Curved Shot, which is an archer special that has 40% unpierceable DR. Basically, Lucina will pre-charge Curved Shot, then immediately recharge it for her second Brave hit. If you were to quad attack, she can get a 3rd activation. Lucina will have Flared Sparrow for 7 instant damage with Flame Tile deployed after combat. Speed and Defense to Tech inflicts exposure after movement assist. For any foe with exposure on the map, they also lose -5 stats and any speed and defense field boss. Last, Shadow Shift provides a reposition action during Kanto. It also gives +3 stats with 7 HP healing after combat. In 3rd place, we have Snake Lady number 2. Years Nidhoggr is basically just a blue version of her Mythic ult that can be blessed for any season. Her Divine Toxin A skill is the same, so she still provides dosage. Nidhoggr's instant damage, true damage, and flat DR effects are the same as before. Instead of debuffing foes, this ult buffs the team with +6 defense and res, Hexblade, and a 50% DR piercing status. Nidhoggr then gets the twin save effect of re-triggering special % DR effects a second time, and that's built directly into her weapon. For fodder, she has Sturdy Beast and Slick Fighter 4 again. To replace Twin Save, she has Higher Ground. This is a far save skill with Warp Bubble effects. Higher Ground is only for Dragons and Beast armors though. Now the runner-up for this year is Emblem Sigurd. The emblems are premier units to get because you get their emblem rings to put on other units. If you merge them, the emblem ring holder gets bonus stats, and these are generally just solid units with good fodder. Sigurd is a Lance Cavalier with a high attack and defense and enough speed to double any slower tank. His emblem ring offers +1 movement except for ranged cavs, and then it gives Kanto 3 to melee users with Kanto 2 to ranged users. Mobility is always powerful, so this is a great ring. As a unit, Sigurd has a unique Gallop status which gives +2 movement, meaning he's a 5-move Cavalier. He also has Kanto 3. His weapon has Sling, true damage based on defense, 50% DR piercing, and 7 HP healing after combat. His trademark Override special is a 3 cooldown AoE blazing special with a good 3x3 box range. If Sigurd tags 2 enemies with the AoE, he gets another action. This special then comes with 40% DR as well. For fodder, Sigurd's Momentum 4 is a free follow-up skill with true damage, and it also gives instant cooldown based on movement. Unlike other instant cooldown effects, Momentum charges AoE specials, which allows Sigurd to proc Override if he moves 3 spaces. He can trigger 2 overrides before contoring away. To pair with this, he has Attack and Defense Excel for flat DR protection. Sigurd then has Fatal Smoke 4 to counteract healing and non-special miracle effects. If you do not have a Fatal Smoke 4 user, you might struggle very hard to finish off some of these modern tanks. In first place, we have Emblem Lyn. She's a green infantry archer with good attack and speed. In a 1v1 scenario, Lyn kinda just gets clapped by all 3 of the far save armors in this top 8, so why is she here? Emblem Lyn is the first unit to introduce Styles, which is a separate button similar to dual harmonized skills. Lyn's Astral Storm style allows her to attack from 6 spaces away every single turn, with the downside of not being able to move. Her emblem ring provides a 5-space Astral Storm style, which is still good, but it can only be used on turn 2, plus it has a 2-turn cooldown after. Distant counter foes can fight back, but this immense range allows Lyn and her ring holder to utilize support effects that normally would be tough to activate on standard initiations. I made a whole video going over some of the uses of Astral Storm style. Innate the raids with the safety fence is extremely oppressive, and giving Lyn brave attacks or miracle effects can turn matchups on their head. You can do some hilariously cheesy stuff with this style, and honestly, you need this type of stupidity to deal with some of the modern tanks such as Nidhoggr or Hector. Now, as a unit herself, Lyn offers attack, speed, desperation, and a preempt pulse support. Preempt pulse is the -1 instant cooldown before attack in effect. Lyn's bow has slaying, 7 true damage, 50% DR piercing, and a potent follow-up. Along with the long range attack style, Astral Storm as a special ensures potent follow-ups deal 100% damage. Lyn can trigger the special on hit 1, then also on hit 3 with the potent follow-up. For fodder, we went over Lyn's speed taker with Ayra. If she survives, Lyn can spam Astral Storm every turn and then stack great talent speed. Finish provides stats with true damage and healing. Panic Smoke 4 inflicts AoE panic, and it gives the team full penalty doubler. It's actually quite nice if you play Emblem Lyn with her ring holder. Lyn initiates, Panic Smoke kicks in, then your second Astral Storm style partner can finish the job. Just to reiterate, there is no top 4 banner this year. All 8 units are on one banner. The only thing that this Voting Gauntlet determines who the free pick is going to be for all players. Assuming standard bracket seeding, which has been used in the past, the matchup should look like this. First versus 8th, second versus 7th, etc. The left and right sides of the bracket will duke it out with each other and then face each other in the final. That means it's entirely possible Mythic Nidhoggr can face Years Nidhoggr in the finals. For other fun final matchups, we could get Emblem Lyn versus Emblem Sigurd. Wouldn't be sad with whoever wins that. Similarly, Attuned Hector versus Attuned Timerra means excellent fodder for everyone, plus you get to keep both units. Sadly, if your 2 favorites are on the same side of the bracket, they can't meet in the finals. For example, someone from Genealogy is going home immediately. For the most part, the Voting Gauntlet is just a lot of luck, and will come down to multipliers in the final rounds. Whoever wins this event, these are all good limited time units with solid skills. If you do not have one of the emblems, they provide immense value. As you can see, Emblem Celica and Ike were literally just outside the top 8 themselves. I'll be honest, once I saw Felix on the early voting list, I was worried we were going to get Edelgarded. Luckily, that wasn't the case, even though Felix does have fine fodder skills. Unsurprisingly, most of the units high up on the voting list were pretty recent. Emblem Marth is literally a year old, but I don't believe he was available to vote for last year. Marth may not be the strongest emblem, but his Slaying Emblem ring is still very good. Most competitive players will have already summoned him though. Pretty impressive, he still made top 20. Now that'll be it for this video. The Voting Gauntlet starts at the end of the month and the banner will take place in March. Now's the time to start planning out your orb savings. Thank you for watching. Have fun in a couple weeks, and I will see you in the next video.